Creepers left to rise, buzz like crazy. Everybody's trying to steal my lady. Spiders in the mirror and feel this can't be right. Back to the scene of a Friday night, to a blessed collision still frozen tight. Spear drinkers, Cupid and the sound of her first chime. And why did you argue? We're dreaming of those eyes, the best part of my life. And when we make love, babe, don't make a sound, the clock won't turn around. Ooh, you turn around 2,000.
Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the start of a new reading vlog. So it's actually Wednesday. I usually start vlogs on Monday, and I don't know why I didn't this time. I feel like I kept going to set the camera up and then I got like busy with work or something, and here we are, Wednesday, starting the first clip. Also, it's early in the morning, early-ish, earlier than I usually film these clips. And it's super bright because like summer, and so I feel like the lighting is super weird. Like I don't even have any of my lights turned on in here. It's just so bright because summer and sun. So this week I had the idea, I even posted on Instagram, that what I was going to do was read only Kindle Unlimited audiobooks for this reading vlog because I just really wanted to use that service. So I started this book, The Takeover. I started this because Jen from the Book Refuge, my book bestie, loves it. She thinks that I will love it, and I want to finally experience this book. So this was really the whole jumping off point for where I wanted this vlog to go. And then I'm going to tell you about how it went a little bit off the rails because Wednesday. So this book I am still listening to. I'm about 15% in. I'm about this far in. I'm listening to the audio. This is on Kindle Unlimited and it has the audiobook with it, and I feel like this is very well beloved by people who have read this, but I first heard about it from Jen, and I feel like she specifically recommended it to me several times, and I've kind of been putting it off because I feel like it's gonna be a little heavy on my heart, because the whole plot of this book is Tristan Miles is the hero, and he's like trying to take over this company from Claire. I believe her name is Claire. You know how I am with names. Yeah, Claire, the heroine, who is now running her husband's company, but her husband has passed away. So she is a widow. She has 3 sons, and her husband who died was really like the love of her life, her soulmate. And so this is a romance between Tristan, who I believe is younger, he's a younger man, and Claire, who is a widow, and she is still grieving the loss of her soulmate. So, if you're new here, I am also married to my soulmate, and we have 3 boys, and so I've really not wanted to read this because I'm like, I don't want to experience that. But Jen assures me that it's cute and fun and that I'm gonna love it. And I love reading Jen's favorite books because I love knowing what her favorite books are. Like, I've done a dedicated reading vlog where I read some of her book recommendations, and I have, anytime that she has a book that she dearly loves, I will pretty much always read it. Sometimes I don't love them, most of the time I do. I think there's only been one that she really loved that I didn't really love, and that's just because it just wasn't for me. Anyway, you know Jen. Jen's my book bestie. So I'm reading this one, loving it so far, but still in that beginning stage, not sure, like, they're not together yet, they're not even really flirting yet, it's just sort of, like, the story's getting laid out, but it's still, like, it's very readable, it's super interesting, like, I'm liking it a lot. So, listening to that one, and then, my friends, we're continuing on in the Maiden Lane journey. I started the series in March. I've had these books, I have had the paperbacks for a while. Look at this one, like, No Cracks in the Spine. It's just like brand freaking new. I don't know, I love it. So I started reading these in March when my audiobooks for Wicked Intentions, which was the first, finally came in, and then they all have started coming in. So I am also just completely in love with this series. This is a series that is interconnected with different characters, but each book you could read as a standalone. And so I just barely finished this one yesterday. This is book 5, Lord of Darkness, which has my favorite step back of all time because I just cannot get over the chemistry that this couple has. I love it so much. So this book is also actually a widow romance. So when Jen found out I was reading both of those, she's like, oh boy, you're reading both. So in this one we have the hero, oh my gosh, Godric. I was going to say Gideon. So we have Godric and Meg. Godric is the hero, and he is the new ghost of St. Giles. And he is a widower. His beloved wife passed away, and so he's still kind of dealing with that. And then we have Meg, our heroine, who her lover has also passed away. They were not married, but there was something where, you know, they were together. She loved him. He died. She was considered ruined and pregnant. So they marry. Godric marries Megs to sort of save her reputation. She ends up miscarrying and losing the baby. And so her and Godric, they never really have a relationship. They never really, this light is driving me insane, but I don't know what else to do with it. So I'm sorry if it's like super bright. It's just like this room has a big, huge window, and I just like, what the heck? All of a sudden we have like light in here. Anyway, if it's bothering you, I'm sorry, because it's bothering me too. So Meg and Godric, they never really have a chance to get to know each other because they're both really grieving, and their marriage was absolutely a marriage of convenience. And so they end up, she ends up trying to get him to be with her so she can have a baby, because that's what she wants most in the world, is to have a child. And he cannot even think about being with another woman because of his wife. So there's so much angst in this relationship. I feel like this is one of the more angsty books as far as the romance goes in this series, and for that reason I loved it, because I love me some angst. And also there's also so many like plot twists in this. This one was really so good. I did end up giving this 4 out of 5 stars, and I like, the more that I think about it, the more I think maybe it was actually a 5-star read. It's like, I think I may change my rating to a 5-star read because I really, really liked this a lot. So yeah, I'm changing this to a 5-star read the more that I think about it, because there's this twist in here that adds another level of angst, but I don't want to reveal what that is because you don't know when you're reading that. You find that out later, because Meg is trying to find the killer of her love, and she knows that Godric is the ghost of St. Giles, and so she's going to go out and try and find this killer, and he's like, no, you're not going to do that. I will go find the killer for you, and if you stay here, and we'll also try and have a baby. It's just, it's so good. Like, I am kind of obsessed with this series. I don't want to stop reading it. So I was really, one of the reasons I wanted to do like a Kindle Unlimited reading vlog is because I've talked about Elizabeth Hoyt a lot in the last couple of reading vlogs, but I just don't want to stop reading them, so I'm going to keep reading them. So, read this one. Initially I thought it was a 4-star, changed my rating to a 5-star. This is a 5-star read. I really, really loved this one. This is one of my favorites in the series. My all-time favorite is still book number 4, which is right before this with the Virgin Batman, but this one was also super good. So, loved that one. So then I had my library hold come in for Duke of Midnight, and I just barely started it, read the first chapter, and I'm obsessed with this. This book is so good. So we have a new Ghost of St. Giles in here now. The Ghost of St. Giles is really basically like a Batman. Like, he wears a costume and he goes around trying to end crime. But as in Batman, like, a lot of rumors get spread around him that he is the bad guy, you know? Oh, it's so freaking good, you guys. Like, also, this hero, the Batman, the Ghost of St. Giles, his parents were murdered before his eyes. So, there was a sweet person, and I believe she was a librarian, she reads romance, who left a comment on my last reading vlog that said, yeah, Batman is apt for this one, but it's even more so in later books, and I feel like this is actually the true Batman. Like, there's even a scene in here in the first chapter where he's training like Batman, And it's almost like he has his valet and they're talking amongst each other, and it just sounded so similar to Batman and Alfred. I couldn't think of the name. It's very reminiscent of Batman training with Alfred. So the plot of this is basically our heroine is Artemis, and she is a lady's maid for Penelope, who is really just this beautiful, stunning woman of the ton. She's approaching her later years in her season, and she's so beautiful, people don't really know why that is, but she's a little bit like, they describe her as a ninny, like she's kind of a dimwit, you know? Oh man, so Artemis is with Penelope trying to do something dangerous at night that this man that she's interested in challenged her to do. They go out to St. Giles Street and they're caught in this dangerous situation, and of course the ghost of St. Giles comes and rescues them. And the ghost of St. Giles is a Duke of Midnight. I don't know, I have a feeling this is going to be one of my 6-star reads. Like, I think this is going to be a 5+ star read. Like, I just can feel it. So, those are what I have read so far. Reading plans. I don't know what else I'm going to read, honestly. Oh, wait, I also want to tell you about another book that I'm really excited about. I feel like the last few weeks I've kind of had meh reading weeks, you know? And then all of a sudden, today, the last few days, I've been like, I'm loving everything that I read and I'm obsessed with it. So the last book that I want to talk to you about is Loving You Always by Kennedy Ryan. This is the second book in the Bennett series. This is her debut series. So in last week's vlog, I talked about reading her debut novel, which is When You Are Mine. And this book is sort of like the duet of that. So the first and second books follow the same couple. So the first book ends with a cliffhanger. The overall story is we have our heroine. I can't remember names right now because I've talked about so many books and names just leave my mind. So our heroine is with this man in the first book, and they are in love and they are thinking that they're going to get married. She ends up having this chance meeting with Walsh Bennett, who is just like, when they meet, they have that real soul level connection and physical attraction that Kennedy Ryan does so well. And you can tell that they want to be together. But the problem is the heroine, Karis, is engaged to Walsh Bennett, this man that she met that she had this big connection with. She's engaged to his best friend. So the angst here is super high, super high. Like the angst is very high in this book. And I am 1000% living for it. So at the end of book 1, we see what seems to be an impossible situation for Karis and Walsh to ever be together. Karis ends up, well, I don't want to spoil for you. So there is like, I don't even know that it kind of is a love triangle, kind of. So in book 2 that I'm reading right now, I'm about 15% into this too, and Karis is really struggling because she wants to be with, she loves Walsh, but she is with this other man, and she also loves him, and she wants to do the right thing. So, but as the reader, you know that she is really a soulmate with Walsh, and you want her to be with him, but you also don't want her to break this other guy's heart. So, I don't know. I'm loving it. The angst is very high. I love angst. The first book I was sort of a little on the fence about until like the last third, and I felt like that's the Kennedy Ryan that I know. And so from the beginning, when I started book 2, which is Loving You Always, like, I felt like right away, like, this is Kennedy Ryan. This is a trademark Kennedy Ryan. So I'm very excited about this one. There is no audiobook for this, so I'm reading this physically on my Kindle. And these are my audiobooks. This one I finished. These are my audiobooks right now. So much for having a planned reading vlog. This is really just me coming to gush about some books that I've recently loved that I have to tell you about. And yeah, I'm going to start the day working. I get to work out, and then I am going to check in with you when I've made more progress on this beauty. Very excited. Hello, I'm back. I'm back with updates. So, last time I updated you, I was talking about this book a lot, and I was talking about how much I loved it and how much Batman vibes it was giving me, because the hero in this is the new Ghost of St. Giles, and so he wears a costume and he's this vigilante type of hero, and he also lost his parents, and his valet is Alfred 100, and he just was such a tortured hero, and I just had such high expectations for this book, and I finished it. I ended up giving it 4 stars instead of 5 stars, and I was honestly a little bit disappointed about how the romance ended up working out. I had a feeling that the way that this was set up, it might go that way. The hero in this, I've already forgotten his name, Maximus, is the Duke, and so he is trying to marry this lady. He needs to marry a lady. You know how it goes in historicals. They have to marry well for the title. So he thinks he's going to marry Phoebe, but instead he ends up falling in love with Phoebe's maid, or lady's maid, who is Artemis. I don't know, she's not her maid, she's her lady's companion. And Artemis is a fantastic heroine in this. She is so strong. She is so driven. She loves her brother. Her brother is imprisoned in this, and that's part of the plot, is that Artemis finds out that Maximus is the ghost of St. Giles, and so she says, I'm going to tell everyone who you are unless you get my brother out of prison. And her brother has been imprisoned, and her brother have a wonderful relationship. Like, they're so close, and it's so sweet. So that was a really cool and clever plot that I thought, but of course they have an attraction and a romance, but because she is a lady's companion, he doesn't want to marry her, so he essentially ruins her. And they do get their happily ever after, but he is hesitant to commit to her, and I just get real tired of that. Like, my friend Jen was reading this at the same time. I finished this a little bit before her, and I saw that mistress trope come up, and I know she hates it. And I was like, oh no, because we were both like loving this so much. So she was way more upset about it than I was, and I think that because I have such a deep love of Batman, like, honestly, like, I have been obsessed with Batman my whole life, that I was more lenient than I perhaps should have been, but I also just felt like this book was just so good. But the docking of a star was specifically because I really hate when a hero does that. Like, it's really hard to root for a hero who will not put aside everything for the heroine, you know? And especially when it's a difference of social class, I feel like, yes, we understand that the social classes are there, but don't ruin her and then refuse to marry her and offer to keep her as a mistress, you know? Like, and obviously, like, it's not like he forced her, right? Like, she was a willing partner, but anyway, so I was a little disappointed with how this ended up, but it's still a good read. It's still a solid read, and I think it's a 4 out of 5 star, and I love the step back so much. So I finished that, and then I immediately picked up Darling Beast, which I believe this is book 7 or 8. I don't know. Where am I at in here? I'm on chapter 12. So I'm listening to the audiobook. I have to catch up to my physical book. I'm on chapter 12. I am also loving this one so freaking much, because the cool thing about this series is that you have characters that you... So I'm this far into it. Can you see this far? Is that you have characters that you meet way early before they get their own book. So the hero in this book is Artemis's brother, who was imprisoned. And something happened to him in that book where he was beaten, and now he is mute. And so he is this big, huge, hulking guy who, and like, some people are afraid of him because he doesn't speak, and they think that there may be something wrong with his mind, and which is kind of sad that that was their immediate response, but also, like, what else did they know, you know? And so he ends up meeting an actress and her son, Lily, and Lily is immediately taken with him. Like, the step back in here is just such an iconic one. And it's so fun because it's so representative. Like, there is that scene in here, and I loved it so much. But I love this one so much because he is very much like a Beast type of a hero. He's very, like, broody and quiet, but very protective. And also, like, Lily's a little bit afraid of him at first when they first meet. She's an actress. I just said that already. And her son sort of ends up talking to... Oh my heck, what the heck? Apollo. I couldn't think of his name. Apollo. He ends up talking to Apollo and becoming friends with him, and their little relationship with this big man and this tiny little boy is adorable. There's also a little Italian greyhound in here. There are some funny scenes in here. Someone asked me if I felt like Elizabeth Hoyt has subtle humor like Kerrigan Byrne, because I recommended this series if you like the Victorian Rebels series. And I think that she has a little bit of subtle humor. Like, I definitely wouldn't say that's a big point of these books, but I feel like she has more of a subtle wit, like these really just sort of offhand comments that are like, that's clever and it's funny, you know? Like, I feel like that is happening a lot in here, and I just am loving it so much. So I'm gonna finish this today, and then I'm gonna keep going, I guess. I'm gonna just keep going. I haven't read anything else really. I'm still reading the Kennedy Ryan book, and I am so much loving that so much. I'm loving it so much. So for sure gonna finish that one too. And then, I don't know, I haven't taken you along with any of my life this week really. I went and got a haircut yesterday. It's the first haircut that I have had. You can't even really tell because my hair is so long. But it's not like my ends aren't scraggly anymore. So I got a haircut and I'm feeling fresh. Now I just need to color it myself. I like to color it myself better than have them do it because I've kind of figured out what I like. But I can't cut my own hair, so I'm real happy that I have fresh ends now. So it's Friday. I haven't done a great job of keeping you updated. I just mixed me some pre-workout. I'm gonna go work out. This is in one of my mugs that I have made myself of a painting that I did. This is probably my most famous painting. Not that I'm famous at all, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this one won an international equine art competition, which was very cool, and it was published in a book, which was also very cool. And I just use it to drink my pre-workout in because it's too small for tea. Like, this is a baby mug. Like, I like the 16-ounce mugs from Hello Lovely. Those are my favorite size of mugs. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I've talked a lot. So I'm for sure going to include in this vlog my final thoughts on this book, my final thoughts on the Kennedy Ryan, which I cannot think of the title right now. I'm sorry, you know how I am, okay? And then I'm also going to give you my final thoughts on this, for sure. This is happening for sure. So the plans are finish this audiobook and then finish this one and update you on those. And then I will also be updating you on the Kennedy Ryan one. So that's exciting. Also, I just got on to Kennedy Ryan's PR team, and we got an email that said that they're making all the King's Men duet and the Hoop series into movies, and I am dying. I just posted that on Instagram with that. That's so exciting. So I'm almost done. I'm almost done with reading her entire backlist. So there are a few books like I want to go back and finish Block Shot, which I had DNF'd at one point. I am going to finish that one. And then I also want to include, I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I've got some great books to read. I'm going to share you my thoughts, and then I'm going to go work out, and then I'll talk to y'all a little later.
You know, round this long night will fade away, and we go back to our old ways, two perfect strangers in disguise.
What is this? We're not in the studio. What? We're in my truck. We're in my truck. We're going to go get a soda from my soda shop, and I'm going to try and get some footage so I can share it with you guys. I'm not sure how good it will be because, you know, if there's a line, then, like, I have to drive. I have to focus on driving. Anyway, this is exciting. I have to go pick up some prescriptions at the pharmacy. And so I just finished my workout, and I have my protein shake here. I used to make this flavor of protein shake. It's like a cinnamon dolce mocha iced coffee protein shake, which is actually really good. I used to make this a lot when I started vlogging, when I did daily vlogging for the first time for the Paranormal Romance Readathon in like the fall, and it was so fun, and I made this every day. So like I haven't made it in a long time. So here I am vlogging in my car. I'm feeling very nostalgic of when I started BookTube, and I don't know, I'm just feeling so good and happy. And let me tell you one of the reasons why. First of all, I finished my workout. It was really good. This was a heavy leg day. Oh, and it was hard. It was so hard, but it was really great. Like, I loved it. So, and then I finished the audiobook of Darling Beast. I freaking loved this so much. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It's probably right up there with my favorites in the series. I still think Thief of Shadows is my ultimate favorite, but this one, oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, it just felt like it was made perfectly for me because this hero was so damaged. Like, he's physically damaged, but he has a lot of, like, emotional damage too. And he is so in love with this woman. He is so in love with her, just completely gone for her, wants her at all costs. And like some of the words that he uses when he talks to her and when he like calls her his Lily, like her name is Lily and his name is Apollo, like there's this like protective ownership of her that isn't toxic at all, but it's like a beautiful assertion of this is my person. Oh, I just loved it so much. There's also a really good mystery in this one about why he was sent to prison and trying to figure that out, so that was really cool. That's something that is great about these books, is they have really interesting side plots, but the romance never takes a back seat to that. Well, I mean, sometimes it does, but this one was just balanced perfectly. It was so good. I loved it so much. I loved the heroine. Like, she was very tender and fragile, but also very strong, and it was just so good. This was a fantastic one. Like, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this, because I don't like the cover. I don't know why. The cover is fine, but I don't really love the colors. Like, I like the purples and the greens better. I know that's a shallow reason, but I ended up loving it. 5 out of 5 stars. That is going to be a standout for this series. Like, I also loved it because the heroine has a son. Like, she has just a son. She wasn't married before, but she has a son, and he is a precious little boy, and he's not like in this book a ton, but the interactions that he has with the hero are so sweet and tender and just adorable, especially because the hero is just like this giant man and this boy is just like really little. And so when the heroine watches them together, she sees the hero Apollo be so tender and gentle with her son, and she sees this disparity in their size, and it's just perfect. And the hero rescues a little tiny dog. The little boy has a little tiny Italian greyhound, and he rescues him from drowning, and that scene was precious and also a little bit funny. And this book was everything that I want in a historical romance. This is a standout. I freaking loved it. I loved it so much. Like, it was so fun. This has been really fun reading this series with a lot of other people have picked it up and started reading it with us, and Jen finished this book before me. And I know Jessen's reading it, Tiffany is also reading it, and I'm not sure exactly who else is, but it's so fun to hear everybody's reactions and which book they like and which they don't, and it's just cool. Like, we all collectively are enjoying them, but it's really interesting to see, well, I didn't like this hero because of this reason, or I didn't like this heroine because of this reason, and it's just fun. So this was a fave of mine. I freaking loved it, and I know I said I was going to stop here, but I already downloaded the next one, and I'm listening to it right now. So that's happening. Okay, I'm gonna go get my drinks, and maybe I'll show you my soda shop when I get there. Okay, bye.
Oh, fear not the cold. Riddles shall unfold.
to another vlog clip. Today is Saturday, so I'm going to try and finish up the books that I have reading right now and then finish this vlog because I've been talking a lot. And then I'll include the books that I am not finished with in next week's vlog. So for that reason, I think I'm probably only going to talk about, also, do you like my mug? Do you like how I just stop mid-sentence? This is one of my favorite mugs. I just think it's so freaking gorgeous. This is from Hello Lovely Box. I am a rep for them. If you want to get anything, I have a discount code in the description. It's just Crystal's Bookish Life 15. Saves you 15%. I adore their hoodies and crew necks. I live in them pretty much all the time. Anyway, so it's cold today. Like, it's been weird spring weather here. Like, some days have been really warm and almost hot where we've turned our air conditioner on. And other days, it's been, like, chilly. So today is a chilly day, and I wanted some tea, so I made some of my fall cranberry pomegranate tea. And I just kind of wish it was fall. I like fall more than spring. Anyway, I digress. So I realize in every single clip in here, I've been, like, telling you what my plans are, and then I change them. I'm sorry about that. I'm real bad at sticking to reading plans. What can I say? I am still going to include the takeover in a reading vlog. I'm not sure if it will be in this one. It probably won't be because I'm trying to keep my vlogs a little bit shorter. I don't know. If you prefer long vlogs, will you let me know down below? And if you don't care, you can let me know too, because some of them were getting really long, so I'm trying to keep them less than 40 minutes or less. I think 40 minutes is the maximum amount of time I want to vlog. Watch this vlog will be like 50 minutes. Okay, currently reading Dearest Rogue by Elizabeth Hoyt. I am abso-freaking-lutely in love with this book. It is fantastic. We have Lady Phoebe, who is blind at this point. She's been losing her sight for the last few books, and we have seen her in some of the other books. She is the sister of Lady Hero and Lord Maximilian, I can't ever remember his name. So, side note, because I struggle with names, but also I tend to be forgetting which characters are related to who, because the series is so long and I'm reading them so quickly. So Elizabeth Hoyt, on her website, she has this really cool character page which tells you each character, how they're related to the other characters, and also what books they show up in. So that is very, very cool. So, Maximus, who is the hero in Duke of Midnight, Phoebe is his sister. So Phoebe is kind of under threat of being kidnapped in this book, and so she has her bodyguard, who is also a damaged hero. He walks with a cane. He was injured in the king's service, and he is in love with her, obviously. This is a bodyguard romance. I am loving it so much. I can't even tell you how much I feel like the last couple of these books have just been my absolute favorites, and I cannot even tell you how much I adore this series. I feel like this is just honestly kind of a masterclass in what I want to see in historical romance. I love that we have so much character development and so much character growth. We have all kinds of different characters in this series, and we have some that are very damaged, not just physically, but like emotionally damaged. And I think every single character in this series is dealing with some type of emotional damage or trauma. It's in some way. And it's really beautiful to see them work through that and find their person who kind of meets them in the middle that way. So it's just really beautiful and lovely. I am a little bit over halfway through with this. I'm for sure going to finish this. I'm listening to the audio. These are very quick reads, honestly. Like, I am just burning through them because I just love them so much. So I fully expect this to be a 5-star read. Like, I am in love with it 100%. The hero in here, Captain Trevelyan, is so protective of her, and it's just so lovely, and it's fabulous. Like, there are some really tender and sexy moments in here where they're together alone, and they haven't done anything yet, really, but they're so close, and she just is kind of feeling her way up his chest and to his face, and then she finds his lips, and it is just because she's blind and she can't see, and the moment that is described in here was just a thing of beauty. It was fantastic. So I'm loving this series. I am sorry that this is kind of all I'm talking about, but I'm a little bit obsessed with it, and I haven't really fallen in love with a series that I have needed to binge since Kennedy Ryan, you know? Speaking of Kennedy Ryan, so almost finished with this. I'm also halfway through with my Kennedy Ryan book, second book in the Bennett series. This is very emotional, very angsty, and things are happening in this book where the couple who were like the soulmate type of thing are now starting to finally work to get their happily ever after. So after a book and a half of angst and struggle and sadness and just real heartache and despairing things that happen to them, now it looks like they're finally going to get their chance to work on being together. So I'm really interested in how the second half of this is going to play out. So I think this could be a 5-star read for me. I really do. So that's what I'm reading. I will update you one last time when I have finished both of these. Hopefully get this vlog shortened up. And I'm sorry I didn't include more of the takeover in here. That'll be in my next vlog, I promise. Hi, hello. So I finished Dearest Rogue, gave it 5 stars, really, really loved it. This is another one of my favorites. I think this one, so I have 3 favorites now. Well, I still love the first one, Wicked Intentions, but my all-time favorites are Thief of Shadows, which is number 4, and then the 2 that I just read. So, Darling Beast and Dearest Rogue. These are some of my favorites. I loved these so much. This one was fabulous. It had, I think I told you what it was about, bodyguard romance. She's blind, and it's just so sweet. Like, I really liked it. I felt like the mystery in here was also really good. And, yeah. It was just, these books are just so fun and so good, and they're just so fast to get through. So, like, in this vlog, I think I have mentioned these 4. Which seems like a lot, right? My face is right here, camera. I think I mentioned all of these in this vlog. Did I mention this one? I'm pretty sure, because this is my favorite setback. So, yeah. Now, I don't know, I don't have much else to say. Like, that's the thing about these books is that I feel like they're just so good. And, like, I keep picking up more of the subtle humor now that it was, someone asked me if it had the subtle humor, and I would say for sure it does. And in fact, I just started this one, book number 9. This one is Sweetest Scoundrel. And this, I just read right before I turned the camera on. I was listening to the audiobook, and there was a line in here that was just so funny, it made me laugh out loud. So I definitely feel like they have a little bit of subtle humor in there for sure. They're not like, they don't have a lot of like bantery, quirky fun humor like maybe a Tessa Dare or even a Julia Quinn, but they do have that subtle humor in there. So this book is interesting because the hero and the heroine are sort of at odds with one another, and there also isn't really essentially a very big attraction between the two of them. The heroine she is the bastard daughter of a duke, but she still has that aristocracy in her title, and so she goes to talk to the hero to protect her brother's investment. And the hero we've met a little bit before. It is Asa Makepeace, and he's been very, like, cold and hard, and so I'm really, really, really interested to see how their romance develops. I know I said I was only going to talk about that last one, but I started this one, I couldn't stop, so I'm going to see if I can include this in this vlog too. It's just me binging the Maiden Lane series. But the interesting thing about this one is that the hero does not find the heroine attractive right off the bat. Like, he talks specifically about her mannish chest, and it's just, so I'm really interested to see that change. I think that will be really interesting to see what it is that makes her attractive to him. And I feel like that could be so interesting because as a little off-putting as it is to have the hero say, I'm not attracted to her at all, it's also a little bit refreshing that it's not relying right off the bat off of that physical attraction. And so there's going to be something in here that causes him to be attracted to her, and I can't wait to see what that is. So that'll be interesting. This one definitely feels like it's a little bit darker. I feel like the last 2 that we've had have not been super dark in the themes that they've handled. Not that one. This one, and also this one. So these two didn't have a ton of dark, they didn't have a lot of the dark, gritty side of St. Giles Street like you get in the first few books in the series, so I feel like this one is going to sort of be a return to that grittiness and that darkness, and I'm really interested to see where the plot takes us there. So, there we go. This vlog is going to be me reading 5 Maiden Lane books and then the Kennedy Ryan book, because I'm definitely going to include that. So, once again, we have a vlog that opens up super chaotic, and I had all these big plans, big themes, and then it has just like crumbled into, actually, instead we're just gonna binge this Maiden Lane series. So I hope you're enjoying this. And I would be really curious to know if my vlogs have motivated anybody to pick up this series too. That would be fun to know. So I'm gonna go keep reading and then I'll update you once I have gotten further into it. I mean, these books are honestly so short and quick that I may not update you until I'm finished with this, probably. Or until I finish the Kennedy Ryan one. So, see you in a bit. Hi y'all, it's Sunday, the last day of this vlog, and I am here with the last Maiden Lane book that I have read. I just barely finished this one. Let's see. You can see it. Sweetest Scoundrel. This is book 9. I told you basically what this was about. I'm trying to find a good spot to hold the camera. Sorry, I'm moving you around. So we have the hero who is basically he's really like a hard, cold, tough guy, you know. He seems to be like a very typical historical romance hero in that he really doesn't, like, he's very hard and he's not gonna fall in love and all this other stuff. And then we have Eve, who is very prim and proper, and they start off not having an attraction at all. Which I said in an earlier clip, I was really interested to see how Elizabeth Hoyt was going to get me on board with their romance and how she was going to turn that and show me that they actually did, that Asa, right? Asa. Yeah. Asa actually did have this attraction for her, so I was really interested to see that change, and it did, and it was so good. I gave this a 5-star. This is another one. This one surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna love this. This is pretty dark. It has a lot of sexual assault themes. It has some just violence in here. This is darker than I think her other ones are, and Eve specifically is working through a lot of that trauma in that she doesn't even want a man to touch her at all. So something else that was really fantastic in here was just the consent. The consent when they finally get together was just... oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, he just kept asking her, may I? And, like, it was just beautiful, you know? Like, I loved it so much. I loved seeing his patience with her. I loved their slowly building passionate relationship. It was just a thing of beauty. I loved seeing Asa, you know, like, he's the type of hero, like, I think I said he's a classic historical romance hero. He reminds me a lot of other heroes Elizabeth Hoyt has written in her Four Soldiers series and in the Prince series. Like, she loves this hard, rough hero who doesn't want to fall in love, but then he ultimately does, and it's just a thing of beauty to see. So this was one of the most satisfying reads I think I've had, because the payoff in this was just so good, and I loved watching him sacrifice, like, when his dream was on the line and it was a choice between making her happy or fulfilling this dream he had. Like, he 100% just said no because he knew that he trusted Eve and her intuition about something being right or not for his business. It was just so beautiful. I loved it so much. Like, I did not intend to binge this series this week. Like, I honestly, like, I finished my vlog last week and I just thought, okay, I'll read one here or there, and then I just cannot stop reading them. So I have the next one already in my ear, not playing right now, but it's going to be. And I have 3 more books, and then the series is over. And I'm sad. This has been an incredible reading week. I read, let's show you these. I'm still going to come back with a Kennedy Ryan update for the final, but we're going to wrap up what I've read from the Maiden Lane series. I read these 5 from the Maiden Lane series, and honestly, 4 of them were 5 stars. 1 was a 4-star. Just loved them all. I loved them all. I am so swept away in this world. I am so bamboozled by the work she's doing here. I feel like these are master classes in historical romance. I feel like the series would have been so good to do as a book club. I know Jen and I were talking about that after our live last week, and she's saying, I'm glad we didn't have Elizabeth Hoyt in there because I couldn't have waited. And I'm glad I didn't have to wait too. But I feel like any of these would be so good to discuss and break down. Like, there's so much to talk about in these. They're just fantastic. So good. So if I haven't convinced you yet, you need to pick up this series. It's fabulous. Like I said, like, not all of them have been hits for me, but I still have been able to appreciate what she's doing in all of them. It's just a thing of beauty. So I'm gonna go finish the Kennedy Ryan, and then I will update you on that one. Or maybe I should just end this vlog here. Should I just end this vlog here? I'm gonna end this vlog here. I feel like this is basically just me binging the Elizabeth Hoyt Maiden Lane series. So in this we have these 5 books. We have books, I think 4, no. Let's see, how many do we have? So this one was 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So yeah, we have books 5 through 9 that I read in this vlog. And I'm sorry, but that's all that I've talked about are just these 5 books. I'm obsessed with them. I love them so much, and I would highly recommend this series to any... If you're a longtime fan of historical romance, you've probably read these. If you're new to historical romance, I would definitely recommend you check this series out. It's fantastic. And I personally think they need to be read in order, because then you can... I mean, they can be read as standalones, as in each book contains a complete story, a complete plot, and a complete couple's happily ever after. But they're so much more satisfying to read them in order, and then you get to see characters show up here and there, and you get to watch their full character arc, and it's just beautiful. So I'm gonna end this vlog here finally. Thanks so much for bearing with the chaos this week, and this was a complete mood reading week, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. I promise to vlog the takeover. I promise I'll have that in a vlog. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. See you next time.